now, right now. Right 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 now, right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. Shall we start here on the daily? Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekdaily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the massive breakout that is going to be coming to Bitcoin at some point in the next month or so. Right now, Bitcoin is building a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous pattern that I believe will help it break back up to all-time high. But there's also a chance that we are only about halfway through the pattern. See, it's very interesting. Bitcoin is repeating what it did in May and June of this year, where it built a symmetrical triangle pattern, bear trapped out of it, and then broke out. It formed an inverse head and shoulders pattern and broke all-time high. But Bitcoin actually did that twice. So are we repeating the first time, where Bitcoin was not done consolidating after the all-time high at 112, or is Bitcoin doing the second repeat, where Bitcoin did actually break through 112,000, move up to 123? Today, we're going to be talking about those different patterns, and we're going to be talking about the absolute necessity of getting to your next Bitcoin target. I want to remind you that you're doing this for someone. Maybe it's just for you, in which case, I'm sorry, you don't have much motivation. But I want you to think about, who is it that you're doing this for? Is it for your dad? Is it for your wife? Is it for your kids? Is it for your community? Are you a teacher and it's for your students? Who are you doing this for? Who are you trying to prove something to? Better, who are you trying to bless? Because you know that you understand Bitcoin better than they do. You know that you understand what's coming better than they do. And you know that you have a better ability to stack right now than they do for whatever reason. Maybe they're 4 years old and they have no ability to do that. Maybe they're in need of help. Who is it that you are stacking for? When you brush your teeth at night and you look yourself in the mirror, what makes you cry? Because it matters. Because it means so much to you. I want to know, where do you go in here? Where do you go? Right here. And you think about it. And you think, man, this matters. I get emotional thinking about this thing. For me, it's my dad. It's my wife. It's my kids. They're counting on me. Never bet against a man who knows that he's the only one that is coming to save the day for someone else. I would never bet against you if you're in that situation. Ever. Don't bet against yourself. Who are you doing this for? Start every single day by thinking about them. Let's get after it. The United States S&P 500 is breaking to all-time high, which is absolutely beautiful, and it's the perfect backdrop that we need to see Bitcoin just go on an absolute tear. US S&P 500 is sitting at 6,400 points right now on SPX. Many of the other indices are also on their way up too. DJI has not even broken all-time high yet, though. As you'll notice here, the Dow Jones Industrial Average has not broken all-time high. Bitcoin's broken all-time high. It broke through 112, rallied all the way up to 123, but DJI hadn't even done it yet. Hadn't even broken all-time high. If you look over here at the Russell 2000, nope. SPY's broken all-time high, but several of the major stock indices in the United States have actually not broken all-time high yet, which is very interesting. And the reason for that is because we still have so much fear about the tariffs. Jeb, why are you talking about tariffs? I thought we were here for Bitcoin. We are, but we are setting up for the golden bull market. We are setting up for the golden bull run. This is about to get nuts. There's a lot of reasons for that. So here's our structure for today. We're going to start off with this short-term technical analysis because we got some really fascinating chart patterns down here that are going to help us trade the next leg up on Bitcoin. Number two, secondly, I'm going to go over with you every single reason I can possibly think of why the golden bull run has not begun yet. As I, the beholder, just said in chat, Bitcoin is about to melt faces. It's going to get nuts. And three, we're going to look at some altcoins because there's some beautiful setups coming that we've been tracking. Setups on Ethereum, setups on Solana, setups on Cardano, and more. Let's get started. Yesterday, we talked about how Bitcoin was repeating history. We'll just go ahead and delete all of our drawings and start from the top. There are two markets that we're looking at on this chart, our current market and the previous market. The previous market was defined as being stuck under $112,000. Our current market is defined as being stuck under $123,000. Good problem to have, obviously. This is the first of many similarities between these two markets that you will be able to see as we develop our chart. One of the other similarities is that Bitcoin's previous market was held under this falling trading channel, specifically this falling level of resistance here. Once we broke through that level of resistance, Bitcoin would go on a massive rally. So we are under this downtrending level of resistance. Bitcoin currently finds itself under this downtrending level of resistance, as you can see right here. Now, there are a couple of problems with this that we're going to talk about today, but we will have to analyze that after we build out our chart. We have these two similar, not identical, but similar downtrends of resistance. We also have downtrending levels of support, as you can see right here on our previous market. And then we have a downtrending level of support right here on our current market. Our last market, this created a bull flag. That bull flag is actually pointing towards $150,000. Bitcoin has still yet to rally to $150,000, which was the price target of this massive bull flag. This bull flag, ergo, is not done. It's not something that we should be ignoring. It is not completed yet. It's pointing at $146,000, and I have every reason to believe that that bull flag is going to be vindicated. All right, that's our third similarity. Similar downtrend, similar level of resistance. However, there's also a similar uptrending level of support that just cuts straight through both of these markets. And as you can see, there was this uptrending level of support right here on our previous market. And so too, there's an uptrending level of support right here that incidentally, Bitcoin actually tested as support last night, which was beautiful. We'll get to these updates of what happened overnight on this pattern in just a minute. This is very, very, very interesting, intriguing stuff, guys. What we saw here, and this is our fifth similarity. First similarity was the level of resistance. Second similarity was the downtrend. Third similarity was the downtrend of support. Fourth similarity was the uptrend of support. Fifth similarity is that Bitcoin built a bull trap where we dropped below this uptrending level of support down to this downtrending level of support. That is the exact same thing that Bitcoin did over the weekend on Thursday of last week, Thursday and Friday. We dropped below this uptrending level of support to this downtrending level of support, and we created what seems to be a bull trap. I'm sorry, a bear trap. Apologies, I got my words backwards here. The bear trap here. Now, that's where we have to start deciding whether or not Bitcoin is actually going to follow through with the same pattern, because if Bitcoin continues repeating history almost identically, then what you're going to see happen is Bitcoin is going to form an inverse head and shoulders pattern just like we did here. That inverse head and shoulders pattern is going to give us a price target, and Bitcoin is going to go somewhere in the range of that price target. The price target on that inverse head and shoulders pattern was $120,000, which is basically our level of resistance right now. We blew off topped all the way up to 123, but really we've been hitting our head on 120 for the last few days. So are we going to do the same thing? Well, interestingly, overnight, Bitcoin had a small correction and actually looks like it's building an inverse head and shoulders pattern, as you can see right here. So this inverse head and shoulders pattern is absolutely beautiful. We've got a downtrend kind of like this as our level of support. We can just kind of draw a downtrend right here as our level of support. Sorry, our level of resistance, our future level of support if we were to break bullish. This would give us a price target, as you can see right here, that would be a breakout up towards about $125,000. It's also very encouraging that as Bitcoin has corrected here overnight, we've not fallen down to this downtrending level of support. Instead, we've fallen to this uptrending level of support and this downtrending level of support. We originally bounced off of the uptrending level of support, and now it looks like we might bounce off of the downtrending level of support. Here's my concern. Bitcoin needs to get through $120,000 before we can say anything concretely, because one difference between these two patterns that we've got to take very seriously is that there is a massive time difference. We were in this range for 48 days. Bitcoin's only been here for 14. If they're similar patterns, then you should expect that we would be seeing a much larger, more protracted, more drawn-out correction. And the second difference here is that Bitcoin dropped back down to $100,000 to backtest the previous major level of resistance, and this gave us a lot of confidence that Bitcoin was going to hold 100K. But this time, we've got a CME futures gap down here between 114 and 116. So this theory that I'm talking about, it does have a hole in it. And so we've got to be very careful to just assume that we're in good shape because this CME futures gap is not filled. And while we're at it, let's also remember something we're going to talk about in a minute, and that is that BlackRock is one of the biggest players in Bitcoin at this point, which we always knew they'd be. They've already acquired 740,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, really, almost 4% of the entire freaking supply. And so when we're looking at BlackRock being a big player, what does BlackRock want? Well, let's remember, BlackRock, Larry Fink, biggest asset manager on planet Earth. You know, they got the 80-story skyscraper in Manhattan, right? BlackRock wants Bitcoin to grow, but not too fast, because BlackRock doesn't want bear markets. Exchanges like bear markets because they liquidate you, and they make money when you get liquidated. BlackRock doesn't want that, because they don't want Granny to lose her nest egg. Because they finally got Granny after 15 years to buy Bitcoin. They don't want her to get turned off because she don't got another 15 years of investment. They want her money now. And so if Bitcoin goes through this massive bear market, BlackRock doesn't like that. You know why? Because BlackRock makes more money off of the IBIT Bitcoin ETF than they do off of the S&P 500 ETF they have. Really? I'm serious. BlackRock, largest asset manager on planet Earth, has one of the largest ETFs of the largest index of the largest economy on the planet, and the Bitcoin ETF makes almost double as much revenue. You might say they have a vested interest in Bitcoin's price. If Bitcoin rallies too fast and goes straight to 200K, then a bear market is on its way. Granny gets wiped out. Larry Fink gets egg on his face. Everybody hates him. Larry Fink doesn't like being hated, especially if that means that people don't give him money. And so, what's my point here? Why the Blackrock tangent? The Blackrock tangent is as follows. If Bitcoin breaks out too quickly here, up to $135,000 to $150,000, then that means that a bigger corrective movement takes place, which is not what they want. They don't want that. Nope, they do not want that. And so you can see this out on the longer term time frame, blending kind of long-term and short-term technical analysis here. This is something we've taught in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy for a very long time, is short-term versus long-term technical analysis. The post-institutional era, this vertical line represents roughly the date that the Bitcoin ETFs launched in January of last year. The post-institutional era does not look like bull markets and bear markets. It looks like stair steps. And so that's what they want. They want Bitcoin to just stair step all the way up to oblivion. They want it to stair step to $1 million over the next 6 to 7, 8 years. That's what they want. And so if that's the long-term vision that these market makers have, they're not too interested in Bitcoin just going absolutely ballistic. They're more interested in Bitcoin taking its sweet time. So here's my deal. How do you get that to happen? Well, you push this narrative that the Bitcoin CME futures gap has to be filled, and you get one final shakeout. The experienced traders who are not going to leave the space and aren't buying the ETF anyway get burned, so be careful. And then what we see out of the short term is that the people that are just buying on spot, they're longing, they say, oh boy, $114,000. BlackRock says, and then Larry Fink comes out on CNBC or Squawk Box or makes a tweet or whatever and says, Bitcoin's the next gold. And then everybody buys the dip. You get one last drop down to 114, and then what do you know? BlackRock actually did something helpful. Market manipulate the price down to 113 so we can buy the dip. Traders get liquidated. Please be very careful. So that's the dilemma. The dilemma is Bitcoin is almost perfectly repeating history, but it's almost too perfect. I exited that little portion of the trade that I went in yesterday because I went in too early. I should have waited for the 120 breakout. Should have done it. It was a mistake. We did not have all the confirmation that we needed. I'm not going back into this long trade back to 123 until we break through 120, because 120 is the price to beat right now. If Bitcoin holds here, here's what I see. If Bitcoin holds this uptrend right here, and then also holds these two trend lines, that one and that one, if Bitcoin starts building this kind of bulwark of support, this little triangle right here, if it holds support here and then bounces and goes up past 120, if we can spend a day, if we can close a daily candle above 120, we have yet to do that. If we could close a daily candle above 120, I mean, I think we inched above it like $40 right over here on the 22nd. But if we can close a daily candle with confidence above 120, all bets are off. 135 is on its way, at least 125 to 130, right? But we've got to see that happen. So, are we repeating history here? I think so. But my concern is that CME futures gap is still down there. Do not, here's my signal, do not enter your long trade yet. I only entered about 10% of what I was going to enter, and even that was a mistake. I lost about 1% of the equity that I was going to put into that trade because of that, because I lost 10% of the 10%. So I lost about 1% of the equity. It was kind of dumb. So don't do that. We're going to wait until 120 breaks. We're going to get more confirmation. We're going to see Bitcoin more so hold this uptrend rather than this one. We're going to see if this was truly a bear trap. Bull trap, I'm sorry. If this was truly a bear trap, rather, we're going to see if this is truly a bear trap and see if Bitcoin can bounce here. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Bitcoin's getting squeezed. It's getting squeezed hard. It's getting squeezed hard here in between these two trend lines. And so I really am interested to see which way Bitcoin's going to break out. We're going to watch it very closely. We want to be opportunistic. If Bitcoin does start breaking down here, there's absolutely a short trade. Should you take it? I don't know. Bitcoin does not seem to be very excited about moving south, right? But if it does drop down here to 112, I might actually enter into a long trade down here around 112 to 113, betting that Bitcoin's not going to go back below 112. I would be surprised if Bitcoin went back below 112 right now. I really would. This market, and this is what I'm talking about, the post-institutional era of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing this thing where it's falling back down kind of close to previous all-time highs, but it's not actually breaking them. Do you remember back here in February when I told you Bitcoin was going to go to $74,000 and I had so many people in the chat calling me an idiot? And then it went to $74,000 and I bought like $100,000 of Bitcoin. Do you remember that? Do you remember when I told you it was going to go to 75, and if it goes to 75, I'm going to buy coins plural? I did. You know why I saw that coming? Is because a drop down to $74,000 would be a 31% drop. We've dropped exactly to the previous all-time high. This is beautiful market structure. You know how I know that was going to happen? I've been in this space too long. I remember this happening in 2017. It's this market all over again. Bitcoin hit $3,000, rallied to 5, dropped 40%, not 31%, but 40%, dropped back down, back tested the previous all-time high, bounced and went freaking parabolic. That's what we're doing right now. Compared to the 2017 bull market, Bitcoin's like here. This is still to come. So what point am I making here? We've been dropping back down and back testing previous all-time highs and previous major levels. We dropped back down and back tested 100K. Didn't go below it. We only dropped below it for 6 hours because Trump dropped like 500,000 pounds of ordnance on Iran. That's the only reason. All right, so if Bitcoin drops down to 112, I'm very confident that we're going to hold it. The CME futures gap will be bought. A lot of people are going to go into long trades. I'm going to buy the living crap out of Bitcoin on spot and on leverage. And then I will especially be entering into long trades if we break above 120. So that's my current analysis of the market on the short term. I believe that a major breakout is coming, but at this point, I'm starting to wonder if this is all a setup. I'm starting to wonder if this is all a setup. And I'm glad I only kind of dipped my toe in the other day and then pulled it out pretty quickly, because I'm starting to think this is all a setup. I sniff a shakeout. I sniff some BS from the market makers. I really do. So be careful. Be careful. They're hunting your liquidation out there, traders. Be very careful. There's some excellent long trades that are coming, both to Bitcoin and to the altcoins. We're going to talk about we talked about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about alts here in a little bit. But be careful. They're hunting for you. Don't get liquidated. Be careful out there. If you want to trade with us, join the first cohort trading group. Links in the description. If you want to join for free, you can get into the first cohort trading group by signing up for Tubbit, depositing $100, sending proof of deposit and your user ID to MalachiPass@CryptoJeb.com, who's one of the employees on our staff, and he will get you a discount code to get into the first cohort trading group for free for a year. We're almost up to 100 people over there. It's only been active for like 3 weeks. Love it. I'm loving the Discord server. You guys are having a great time building out all the roles, all the different. There's so much stuff coming to the Discord server. Just there's a bunch of activity over here. By the way, This guy. Check that out. 1,000% P&L yesterday. Whew. Good job. Good job, Lewis. On stream shout out. Gotta give it to you on this one. $3,000 P&L on $300 of margin. Got 1,000% return in our Discord server. That's incredible. That's like the Hall of Fame right there. I pinned it. That's just remarkable. We've got a lot more trades like that coming up. Join the Discord server. Sign up for Tubbit with the link in the description box down below. Go ask him how he did it. That's at ASAP Lewis over in the Discord server. Shout out to him. All right. Let's read chat for a little bit, and then we are going to talk big picture because I don't know about you, but I've got a lot of money in Bitcoin. I'm very interested to see where we are going to go. So let's just put these rogue hairs back where they belong, and then we're going to get started. Carl Spatial Spital is in chat, said eye-opener to say the least. It is. It's so interesting. Arthur DeVroom is in chat. Mad PT is in chat. Good to see you. Ricky Ricardo said Bitcoin is my retirement plan. I absolutely agree. Jeb, Bitcoin weekly RSI is lower highs, respecting that demand line. Yeah, let's take a look at that. That is a very important indicator that we have been watching very closely. Here is that weekly chart RSI, and there is that downtrending level of resistance. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely begging to get annihilated. Just desperate. Desperate to get annihilated. Look at the weekly chart RSI here. Riding above the 14 interval moving average, still at 69. We have not even gotten started. Where did the last two bull markets top out at? 95 and 90. Bitcoin's at 70. If Bitcoin went to 90 on the RSI, you're probably looking at $180,000 Bitcoin. If you think this bull market is over, you're dead wrong. You're what we call wrong. There's a slight chance you could be right, but it's like sub 5%. 95% chance there's a lot more room to go in this bull market. Either a lot more time, a lot more price, or some combination of the two. Either Bitcoin goes absolutely parabolic in the next few months, absolutely insane, completely and utterly explodes in price to like $225,000, or it doesn't do that. It keeps stair-stepping here, and we just say sayonara to the 4-year cycle. If Bitcoin doesn't go parabolic, it's just going to stair-step its way to oblivion. Just not to oblivion, to heaven. It's just boom, $1 million. Just going to stair-step its way straight to $1 million. Before you know it, you'll be seeing a $40,000 jump on Bitcoin in a week. You know, sometime in a few years. It's very possible with the influence that BlackRock and Strategy have in Bitcoin, holding 1.2 million Bitcoin between the two of them at this point, that the 4-year halving cycle is just gone because there just might be too much buying pressure on the dips to allow for a bear market. People think I'm crazy. I am not saying the 4-year halving cycle is dead, but I'm saying there is a very high possibility that it is. If Bitcoin keeps growing linearly. If Bitcoin goes parabolic, then the 4-year halving cycle is probably validated. If Bitcoin continues stair-stepping higher on the linear chart, just like this, following that uptrend, and, you know, roughly this uptrend right here, if Bitcoin keeps doing this and just keeps channeling higher, yeah, 4-year halving cycle is probably dead. We shall see. Read a little bit more chat, and then we're going to talk about every conceivable reason why Bitcoin is going to go higher. It's so obvious. Hey, Jeb, have you made successful withdrawals from Tubbit? I have. Yeah, really loving Tubbit. Loving Tubbit. Love it so much. It's my favorite leverage trading platform that I've ever used. It's a great platform. Very, very excited about it. I personally use it. In fact, I wanted to let you guys know this. There is a trading competition coming up on Tubbit. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to actually join our team. I think it's starting on August the 3rd. So there's going to be a trading competition, and there's $3 million in the prize pool. Woo! Nice. August 3rd to August 25th, I think, are the dates. I got to confirm those. I'm pretty sure it's August 3rd to August 25th. We want to get the biggest team. Biggest team. We got to do it. We got to get the biggest team, and we got to get some of those benefits. I want to lock in some of that $3 million of trading rewards for you guys. That's cash rewards for the biggest team. So let's just build the biggest team that we possibly can on Tubbit and go do it. Sign up for Tubbit if you haven't already. Links down below. Use our links so you can join our team. Hedge fund's going to stretch this thing to 300K with one parallel channel. Yeah, I would not be surprised. would not surprise me in the slightest. Another 30 seconds or so, and we're going to jump right into some long-term analysis. Alabaster just donated 5 Crypto Jeb memberships. Wow. Ava Angel, Drew P. Drew is in chat. Jessica, Daniel, and one other. Oh, and Kryptoni. Awesome. Thank you so much for the gift of the memberships. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Looks like someone keeps dumping when there's a little push. There is. It's the market. It's the market manipulation. It's the market making. They're trying to drag it out. The big players, you know, people say, "Oh, you're just saying manipulation because you don't know what's going on." Like, no, I do. I've been a professional Bitcoin analyst for almost a decade. Like over half of the history of Bitcoin, I've been a daily analyst of this chart. I can tell you where. Show me a 4-hourly chart screenshot of Bitcoin from any time in the last decade, and I can probably tell you what month it happened in of what year. I understand the markets. But I can also tell you when manipulation is going on. Bitcoin is being held down by something. And the only thing that makes sense is that there are institutions that are trying to reduce the volatility, smooth Bitcoin out to a 25% continual average growth rate chart that just goes on for the next 30 years and prints money until they're all dead and gone. That's the only thing that makes sense. And frankly, I'm not too mad about it. I ain't too mad about it. I like bear markets because I like buying a lot more on the cheap. But honestly, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with $114,000, $116,000, $118,000 entry. Needed this version of Jeb. Yeah, you do. You need a reminder just like I do. You need your daily reminder that you are doing this for someone. Who is it? Name them. Not in chat. I mean, you can if you want. But who is it? Who is it? Tell me in chat. Their relation to you. Not their name. Don't dox people. What's your is it a dad? Is it a brother? Is it a sister? Is it a child? Is it a son? Is it a daughter? Is it one of your kids' friends? Is it your wife? Is it your husband? Who is it? Why are you doing this? Because I'll tell you what, it ain't freaking worth it. It is not worth the emotional turmoil that this crypto markets are going to put you through unless you're doing it for a good reason. It's a lot. You know how much I'm sitting here doing this number on my phone every day? You know how distracted I am when I shouldn't be? How much I have to fight the urge to constantly be checking my phone? I've been doing this for almost 10 years and I still struggle with that. It's a lot. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of pressure. So what are you doing this for? Why are you doing this? Satya said my wife and son. Boom. Daddy-O said the kids. Boom. Matt PT said, Jeb, would you suggest getting out of longs right now that have good entry prices? Depends on the entry. If the entry is below like 115, I wouldn't necessarily say so. It depends on the entry. That's a good point. It depends on the entry. Depends on the entry. Kryptoni said my name and my family's name. There you go. Kid's friend. What I mean by that, I was the kid who had no money, and I had some friends that were relatively successful. And so, or their parents were successful, and so their parents were like, "Oh, you know, we'll watch after you. We'll take care of you." So, I mean, you know, sometimes your kid has a friend, and that friend's got nothing. Their family's really down and out. Maybe you know a single mom. Maybe there's somebody in your church. Maybe there's an old lady in the church who needs a new ramp on her deck. Like, what is it? Who are you doing this for? Who are you doing this for? Figure it out. It's too important to not figure it out. All right, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about why Bitcoin is nowhere near done. First things first, S&P 500 is breaking all-time high. People do not understand how significant this is. The Bitcoin market, tracks the United States stock market extremely closely because Bitcoin is treated as a risk-on asset, which is very funny because actually I consider the stock market to be a risk-on asset because Bitcoin has outperformed the S&P 500 on average for the last 15 years. By the way, so is gold. I saw a video... Dave Ramsey posted a clip from the Ramsey show where he talked about Bitcoin. Says it's not an investment. It's speculation. It's beanie babies, etc. I love you, Dave Ramsey. We need a hashtag pray for Dave in chat. We need another one. We've got to do another round of prayer intercessions for my main man, Dave. I love you, Dave. You're wrong. You're not speculating on commodities because they're not equities. If it's not an equity, that doesn't make it a speculation. That would mean that real estate is speculation, and you're a massive real estate guy. You can invest in commodities because they have scarcity, more so than equities do. Gold has beaten the S&P 500. Bitcoin has beaten the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is designed to barely keep up with inflation, so you're a slave to the government that put you in slavery in the first place. I don't have an issue with you investing in the stock market, but don't expect to beat inflation by that much in the S&P 500. That said, the world still looks at the S&P 500 as the leader, and Bitcoin is the risk on. So when the S&P 500 is doing well, Bitcoin does even better. S&P 500 is breaking all-time high. DJI, Dow Jones Industrial Average, has not even broken all-time high yet because there's all this fear of the tariffs. It's a giant inverse head and shoulders pattern. I mean, if you're a stock trader for some reason at this point, then there's a huge pattern that's pointing at like 60,000 points on DJI. I mean, it's just, I mean, goodness gracious, it's just disgusting. It's pointing at 55K, right? So the stock market's about to go ballistic. Why? The stock market's about to go ballistic because the tariffs are coming into effect and they're working. Trump's and team have already brought in over $50 billion in revenues from the tariffs. Trump told the whole world to sit down, shut up, and pay your fair share, and not a single one of them except China had anything smart mouth to say about it. And they're all paying. Not even as much as we're still paying. So the world was terrified of tariffs. They worked. You got a couple of bachelor's degree, a master's, and maybe, if you're lucky, a PhD, and the orange man in the White House just overthrew the entire economics industry by saying, we charge money on incoming goods. And all the fear of tariffs crashed the market. Trump did not care. Crashed the market. I don't give a crap. It'll come back. Because it's designed to. It's designed to springboard. Dropped 18%. It's coming right back. This is one of the strongest recoveries out of the United States stock market that we have ever seen. And it's not done yet. The amount of buy pressure in the DJI that is going to push it beyond all-time high, the S&P 500, is going to send stocks and equities through the moon. And when they do go through the moon, that's going to send Bitcoin through the moon because Bitcoin goes in the same direction, only faster. Bitcoin was lagging behind the S&P 500 before. Now the Bitcoin market is leading the S&P 500. If you overlay SPY on top of Bitcoin, you can see that the Bitcoin market is tracking with it almost perfectly. We broke through all-time high just a couple of days after, and Bitcoin is on its way up. It's tracking about the same time with S&P, and as far as DJI, Bitcoin is leading the Dow Jones. Right here. See, I think I have so many things on my chart, it's not going to let me put it on there. Hang on, let's delete some of these comparatives. Here we go. Go back to Bitcoin. Out here, same price scale. See, Bitcoin is leading the Dow Jones. Dow Jones has not broken all-time high. Bitcoin already has. It's leading it. So what happens when DJI and SPY start going crazy, which they're going to? Bitcoin's going to go crazier. What happens when that occurs with the fastest demonetization that the dollar has seen in a very long time going on? Ever since the beginning of this year, you have seen almost 11% drop on Dixie. That means the dollar is losing strength aggressively. Now, in the last few days, it's gaining strength, which is very interesting, and may put the brakes on Bitcoin slightly. But the general trend is a weak dollar, strong stock market. That is a perfect paradigm for Bitcoin. Okay, cool. So we've got all the equities factors that we need for Bitcoin to go crazy. What else? Bitcoin has not gone parabolic yet. We already talked about it from the weekly chart. Got this downtrend on RSI. We have not broken it. We're going to. If we're going into the ending part of the bull market, we're going to go parabolic. Bitcoin's RSI going back up to 90 is going to require a rally to at least $150,000 to $160,000 because you're just going to need that big of a percentage movement to get Bitcoin's RSI to move like that. Bitcoin's RSI on the weekly chart is a very slow moving indicator, and you are so zoomed out on the weekly chart that you need a very large percentage movement to push from 70 straight to 90. Bitcoin's going to have to go to 140 to 160, maybe even 180 to get RSI up into that territory, and it's going to have to do it in less than like 2 months if you want to see RSI push that high that fast. Is it going to happen? Yes. Something else you'll notice is that we've had this uptrend here on the MACD on the weekly chart. We're nowhere near it. We've got to go all the way up to 12,000 points. By the way, that would only be a topping out at the same level that we were at during the last bull market. That doesn't make sense because the last bull market before that was way the heck down here at 3,500. If you extrapolate that linearly, you should see MACD going all the way up to like 25,000. Well, you're probably not going to do that, but you could see it go to 15, 16, 17,000 points here. If you see that happen on weekly chart MACD for Bitcoin, you're going to have to see Bitcoin go to like $180,000 at least. Okay, let's talk about altcoins. BTC.D, the Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin's dominance has been taking a dive. Nothing compared to what we saw in the last cycle. Alt season has not even started yet. There's so much inflow coming into Bitcoin and Ethereum. It makes total sense that a massive altcoin season would happen, and it has not even started yet. Alt season is going to happen, and when alt season kind of takes a pause, then all the money is going to flow back into Bitcoin, and that's going to send Bitcoin parabolic. It's almost like you got two people jumping on a trampoline, right? You got one of them, you got three people jumping on a trampoline, right? Two of them launch the third one. That's what the altcoins market is going to do to Bitcoin. The altcoin market is going to launch the Bitcoin market, like a couple people throwing a dude off a boat. It's going to be throwing Bitcoin straight into the air. Like a couple of parents throwing a toddler in the air, and hopefully they catch him, right? That's what we're looking at happening. Bitcoin's going to rally. It's going to dump. Money's going to flow into altcoins. People are going to make a crap load of money in altcoins. They're going to sell the altcoins at the top, hopefully, and not be exit liquidity. They're going to dump it right back into Bitcoin. It's going to moonshot to 200K. We are not done. Okay, more reasons why Bitcoin is not done. Let's continue here. More reasons why Bitcoin is not done. Because there's so much freaking inflows. It's insane. The amount of inflows that have gone into the Bitcoin ETFs now are 55 billion. The Bitcoin ETFs are, by an order of magnitude, more successful than any other ETFs in history. The Bitcoin ETFs are the single most successful ETFs in human history. The most successful one is IBIT. The second most successful ETF in history is the Bitcoin ETF. The third one is what, by the time you get to equities, you get to the third most successful ETF in history. If you combine all of them together, they're like 10 times more successful. You have never seen an ETF or a group of ETFs get to $10 billion in less than 60 days. It's never happened. $60 billion in less than 2 years. Never happened. Never happened. Not even on the major indices like the S&P 500 ETF. Has not happened. It's absurd how much money is flowing into the Bitcoin space. It's absurd how much money BlackRock and Fidelity are making off of the Bitcoin ETFs. It's absolutely nuts. You just saw the United States president, the president of the United States' family, TMTG, Trump Media and Technology Group, buy $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. They now hold 16,000 Bitcoin. You're telling me the president, who has another 3.5 years in office, is now the 6th largest institutional holder of Bitcoin, and they're not done yet. By the way, you got the crypto report coming out mañana. Tomorrow is the deadline. Oh, by the way, we have a decision on rate cuts tomorrow. I don't know that the rate cuts are going to happen, but we'll get to them in a minute. Not done with you, Trump. Trump's buying Bitcoin hand over foot. He's not done. You know he's going to buy more. You know that dude wants to see if he can get to 12 figures before he croaks. He'd love to see that. $100 billion. Why not? Why not? Okay, here's what else. Tesla is probably going to end up buying Bitcoin very soon. Elon Musk has become much more pro-Bitcoin in the last few months, ever since his disenfranchisement from the Republican Party. We have, let's see, what else? Strategy just crossed 3% of the total Bitcoin supply in their custody. That's not going to stop. Saylor wants 5%. I've met him. I sat down for an hour and interviewed the guy. Go watch our interview. It's got like 120,000 views. The dude's not going to stop anytime soon. No, it's not going to happen. He's going to get to 1 million Bitcoin. Mark my words, Strategy will hold 1 million Bitcoin. It's going to be hard. The last 350,000 are going to be very difficult because they're starting to dilute their shares so much that investors are not getting the kind of returns that they used to. So Strategy is looking like it's got some issues that it's got to work out. But it is still probably going to manage to get to 1 million Bitcoin. It's almost certainly going to be the first institution to get to 1 Satoshi after BlackRock. Okay, so the Bitcoin acquisition bill for the United States is almost certainly going to pass. It would be ludicrous if it didn't. With bipartisan support, it should be one of the most obvious bills that the United States Congress ever passes. Everybody's constituents want it. Democrat, Republican, left, right, blue, blue, red, they all want it. If Congress does not pass the 1 million acquisition bill for Bitcoin, it will go down in history as one of the biggest mistakes that Congress ever made, and that's a really big list. And the congressional, the House members and the senators, they know it. They know it. It's going to pass. It's going to pass. You're also going to see rate cuts starting sometime very soon. This is going to send Bitcoin through the moon because it's going to indicate that we're going to have a lower interest rate market. Here's what the world is doing. If you hear anything about this, if you understand anything from today's stream, understand this. I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger because we got to get the charger plugged in. Sorry, give me 1 second. I forgot to plug my charger in. If you understand anything from this stream, understand this. Wealthy people... the charger didn't work. I gotta go plug it in again. Hang on. Well, I'll say this. Wealthy people are understanding that the best way to make generational wealth right now is by shorting the dollar and longing Bitcoin. What wealthy people are doing right now is they are borrowing dollars, putting it in to buying Bitcoin. They are buying Bitcoin, selling dollars. And if they can short the dollar by going into debt, they're going to do it. So as rates start coming down, that's going to send Bitcoin parabolic because people are going to borrow money at lower interest rates. Bitcoin's growth rate is going to increase relative. And so as you start to see interest rates come down due to M2 money supply increase, you're going to see debt basically become free. And people are going to be borrowing at 4 and 5%, buying Bitcoin that grows at 25 and 30%. And you're going to see the golden bull run kick off. These are all reasons why I am starting to wonder whether or not we're actually going to have a bear market or not. So we'll keep talking about it. Give me 1 second. I got to fix this charger. We're going to have our battery die. There we go. That's better. Let's see. My chargers are old at this point. I got to get some new ones. Let's see. Why is it not working? Oh my goodness, Mac. Come on. That's hilarious. There we go. You can do it. Ah, we got it. Max charging, so we're not going to have to kill the stream because of the battery dying. Sorry about that. So anyway, the point here is people are going to borrow cheap money. They're going to borrow cheap dollars, and they're going to buy rapidly appreciating Bitcoin. And as they see interest rates come down, they're going to do it more and more and more and more and more. They're going to borrow dollars. They're going to buy Bitcoin. These are all reasons why Bitcoin is going to go absolutely insane. Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million before you know it. And so I'll leave you with this. You have an opportunity right now to short the debasement and destruction of the world's largest currency collapse that is happening in not so slow motion right before your eyes, that being the dollar. And you have the opportunity to buy the most successful asset in the history of the world. Bitcoin has reached $2.5 trillion faster than any company. It grows faster than gold. It grows faster than real estate. It outruns everything because of its limited supply. What are you going to do about it? Every 400 years, you see a currency die and a currency be reborn. You saw the last major currency that the world was using be the British currency before the American currency really took over about 200 some years ago. We are seeing de-dollarization right now. Not because of BRICS, not because of China, not because of Soviet Russia, no. Because of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to demonetize everything in its path, and it's going to gobble up 10% of global wealth in the blink of an eye. And you're going to miss it unless you do something about it. So I seriously encourage you to do something about it. What is that something going to be? I'm very interested to hear. If you want to continue trading Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies with me, I highly encourage you to sign up for Tubbit with the link in the description box down below. If you register right now, you're going to get access to all kinds of different benefits. If you deposit $100 on Tubbit, first of all, we're going to give you a coupon code and you're going to get into the Discord server for free for a year. Free for a year. So many people joining over here. So many trade setups. So much analysis going on. Bunch of stuff going on over here. If you want to join, that's the way you do it. But If you sign up for Tubbit and deposit $100, you're also going to get $30 instantly for free. On top of that, when you sign up, you're going to get $50 for free just as a registration bonus. And then when you sign up, you're also going to get, if you do $1,000 of trading in perps, you're going to double that $50 into $100. So you just turned $100 into $230. And you got into the Discord server for free for a year. That's a great deal. So make sure you sign up for Tubbit with the link in the description box down below, and do it now because we're about to build a team, a trading team, and we're going to enter into the trading competition, and we're going to try and get some massive rewards. There's $3 million on the table for the traders. So make sure to sign up for Tubbit, join our team. There's a $3 million bounty for the trading competition that's going to start on August the 3rd. We're building the team now, so join now so that you can be a part of that. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's stream. Let's read a little bit of chat, and then we're going to wrap it out here. As far as the altcoin setups, I'm not going to have too much time to go over them today. We ran over, but what I will say is that we're not ready for them yet. So we'll be looking at them more so tomorrow, just for time's sake, but we're getting there. Not really ready for them yet. Solana, Ethereum, Cardano, we're still kind of sitting on our hands. Bitcoin and everything's taking a bit of a corrective movement right now. Trying to see if we're going to fill that CME futures gap, like I said. So, and here we actually have Bitcoin breaking below this downtrend and is falling down to this uptrend. And it looks like it's breaking that also. This is why we exited the long in this entry up here, because we didn't have all the confirmations we need. We need to wait a little bit. All right, let's read some chat. No rate cut tomorrow, folks. Odds are 3% rate cut, 97% no change. That's right. Rate cuts are probably going to take at least another month. If the interest rates do cut, Bitcoin immediately just rallies like 5-10%. Miguel Rangel is in chat, said, hello, Jeb. Good morning. Late today, but I'm here. Today watching from Mexico and still DCAing. Love to see it. Love to see it. The kids. That's good. All right, I hope you guys did enjoy today's stream. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more content, guys. Make sure to sign up for Tubbit and start trading with us. A lot of amazing trade opportunities that are coming up on the horizon. I want you to have the exchange set up, understand how to use it, be familiar with it, and be prepared so that when these trade setups happen, we can jump into them together. So now's the time to prepare, get into Tubbit, sign up, deposit your $100, get into the Discord server for free, and figure out how the Discord server works and how Tubbit works, and we'll all work together on that so that you can be ready to enter into some of these trades with us. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I love you very much, and before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.